Hey, what's going on, y'all? Today, I'm at the lake, enjoying some of this rainy weather. It's a cloudy atmosphere. It's feeling nice. You might hear a drip drop here or there, you know. Let it add to the ambiance. Anyway, today's video is titled Semen Retention. Discover Inner Peace. It's a very important one because on this journey, you're going to encounter a lot of things that will try to take away your inner peace. You know, and in this kind of the journey of life, you're going to encounter a lot of things like that. So being on this journey, the fact that it reinforces your inner peace makes it a valuable asset to have in your tool belt as far as being secure in your masculinity. So how does semen retention help connect one to their inner peace, help one find and discover their inner peace? In three ways that I like to outline here today. The first, semen retention connects you. It grounds you to your roots. You know, the longer you go on this journey, the more firmly planted, the deeper down your roots are going to be. And having those roots deep down, firmly planted, that means that when the storm comes, when life throws its ails, you know, when it throws its attacks at you. And these are things that are just going to happen, you know. Bad things happen to everyone. Good people, bad people, it doesn't matter who you are. Bad things are going to come your way. So when the storms of life come, you might bend, you might wave in the wind a little bit, but you're not falling over. You're not getting uprooted. A lot of people out here who are shallowly planted, who have not dug their roots deeply down, they get uprooted by every little storm. And then they got to work on replanting, regrounding themselves, if they even care to do that. Some people just wither away and die, bro. So having our roots firmly planted, keeping them deep within the earth, within the roots of connected to the rivers of the living waters of life, as how the Bible puts it. Being that firmly connected, that's what allows us to maintain inner peace. It brings one a certain amount of security, peace of mind, to know that when a storm comes, we'll be all right. We'll be firmly planted, stationary, unmoving, at least root down. You know, got thick, solid trunks. That's what keeps us stationary. And even if you don't want to believe in a higher power, you have to understand that you're grounded into something far more powerful than you know. Something that is, you know, truly divine in essence. And then listen, even if you just want to believe that you're grounded in your own testosterone because that's where your balls are producing it, and the longer you go on this journey, the more testosterone you have. Hey, there you go. But for us believers, you know, and you know, the Bible mentions that every man knows in his heart God is real. And you don't have to believe in the Christian God for that to apply, for that to be true. You know, there is a divine force, a great mover of things, and I think we as mortals have to acknowledge. There's something else going on that makes us tick. Even science hasn't figured that out yet. What makes us conscious? What makes us here and alive? The divine spark, that's what. But science hasn't yet proven it, and so we're like, who could know? Yeah, we figured it out thousands of years ago. There's something else going on here. In any case, when you're grounded in that, when you're rooted in that, you're connected to a power beyond powers. And for us believers, you know, we come to that power in our own way. Everyone's got their religion. Everyone's got their philosophy, their own way of approaching it. But connect to that power. And when you engage with semen retention, you are further connected to that power, further grounded in that, further rooted. It strengthens your connection. And even if you don't believe in anything but nature in the universe, I mean, go outside and inhale some fresh air in nature when you're on retention and tell me you don't feel more connected to that. And whenever you feel more connected, again, it's harder for you to be swayed, to be uprooted when the bad things in life come. Your faith is stronger. Your trust and that you can make it is stronger. It's a powerful thing. Moving forward, another way that retention helps one maintain and discover their inner peace is that it leads you to adaptation. It leads you to, and this isn't even a conscious adaptation. I mean, in a way it is, but largely it's subconscious. Largely it's just instinctive adaptability. Your adaptive nature increases because on retention, you're going back to natural. You're connecting to source. You're returning to the way that man was primally. Man, in his past, never spilt his seed needlessly. Never. If you were in nature and you just wasted the thing that allows you to make other life, regardless of whether it adds you life power, you waste the thing that helps you make other life, you're depleted. And not only that, but your body's main goal, your body's main purpose is to produce more of that sperm so that you can go and produce more life. That's your whole, even if you don't, it's like, what's my purpose, bro? Your body's purpose here is to make another one of you. And I think people oftentimes reduce what survival is. We think survival is just finding a way to live on. I heard a quote that was like, survival is finding a way to make something that survives you. That's survival. You know what I'm saying? Because we're temporary. But if we can make something that survives us, be that a piece of art, be that, a project, be that, another human being, something that survives you, that carries on your legacy. That's surviving. And so your body's main goal to survive is to make another one of you. That's how we survive. And so your body's focusing on building more of that. And in nature, we didn't just waste it. We preserved that. And the only place we put it was into a mate. That's why you see apes. Do they have to work out, bruh? You see them muscled up, super strong. Do they have to work out? Nah, bruh. They just maintain their life force energy. And it just powers them up to be that strong. All they do is move around and use their own body weight. Bro, they invented calisthenics. And we don't question when we see a bull that's on super strong testosterone masculine mode. We're like, oh, that's just a bull. Nah, bro, that bull is just maintaining his life force. You could be that aggressive. You could be that strong and masculine. But most of us, at least before, didn't understand how, useful it was. And worse yet, a lot of people out here know about it and don't care. Isn't that sad, bro? That they would just, that they're so deep in on their weakness mode. That they prefer to be on that. Society has conditioned them so well to be on, cuck mode, bro, simp mode. That they prefer it to becoming strong, to putting in the work to improve. Value that if you've stayed on this video this long, that means that you probably care enough to move forward with your improvement journey. That means that you probably care enough, to change your life and make things better for yourself. A lot of people out here don't care at all. And so, all this is to say, semen retention connects you to natural. When you push through this journey, when you decide to care about your improvement, and you decide, okay, now I'm going to return to natural, return to how man used to be. Our primal, our not primal, but our priority, our chief most ability when we were back in nature was adapting to things. When things went wrong, we found a way to adapt and conquer that situation. So, an example of this is, we used to be we were forced from the trees. Science says that we were forced out of the trees by bigger apes and onto the land, and that's why we started learning how to walk. And whether or not you believe that, it's what it is here or there. But because of that, it also says that we then learned how to group up into our little, human cliques, and then we learned how to, because we were weaker and on the land, we had to find a way to beat up the other things so we didn't die. So we figured out how to harness fire. We adapted. Figured out how to harness fire. We figured out how to, fashion things like sticks into clubs. How to, attach rocks to this thing. And now I got a rock club. Look at me, I can smash you. You know what I'm saying? We got inventive with things. We learned, okay, well, if I can't hunt things down, what I'll do is I'll suck the bone marrow out of bones. That's how I get my food. That's how I get my nutrition. We figured out how to become strong. We adapted to our new environment. That's the human power. adaptability. And so, when you tap into that natural, you connect back to that ability to adapt to things. So when situations go wrong in your life, you'll be on the jump with how to, adjust yourself and get with it. Things won't throw you off anymore. It's another, like, you're rooted. Not only are you rooted, but you're prepared. You're standing strong against it. You got your shield ready. It's like, Roman legions. I like to mention them a lot, but they used to get their butts whooped by everybody. For example, Carthage. At the beginning of their wars, they didn't have any ships, and the ships that they did have, they didn't know how to use. So, Rome didn't know how to use their ships. But Carthage was a sea empire. They were beating up the Romans. And so what Rome did, they adapted. They simply just found the design of one of the Carthaginian ships, copied it exactly, and then invented their own way of throwing a gangplank over from their ship to another ship, turning sea battles to land battles, which they were good at. So they just wrecked the Carthaginians. It's that same method of humans have always had this ability to figure things out, adapt to their situation, and make a change, and then conquer. Semen retention connects you back to that ability. If you've been far from it, semen retention will bring you to it. And that ability, the security, the surety of knowing that you can adapt to every situation, that will bring you inner peace. That will bring you peace of mind in every situation you face, knowing that you'll have the ability to conquer it some way. You'll be like MacGyver, bruh. Inventive and sure of yourself. Because you can make it out of any tight spot. Now this brings me to my last, and I think, at least, not last but not least, because this is very important. Semen retention lengthens your attention span. When you're on retention, you can be sure that you'll start engaging in activities that you never would have in the past. Most of the time, we sit around and we're on our phones, and we're swiping and we're scrolling, and if it's not a very interesting post, we just gotta go right past it. And in fact, I mentioned this in my social media as a cesspool video. It's designed to show you posts that you don't like so that you keep on scrolling, so that they have you in there for longer. They did this experiment with rats, where they fed the rat, or they had a button where the rat could press it, and they would give it everything that they wanted. So he'd press the button and get everything that he wanted, all the food he wanted. But they realized that he would stop after a while. You only go like 5-6 presses, get all the food he wanted, and then he stopped. You're on the same thing on social media. If you saw a post you only liked, you'd scroll for a little bit, get what you liked, and then you'd stop. What they figured out is that if the rat only got a piece of food every 3 to 5 presses, he would start smashing that button. He would just smash that button as long as he could to get as much as he liked, to try and get that same amount. Just keep smashing it for a longer period of time. They use that same method on you with social media. You'll be scrolling, see something you don't like, just waiting for that dopamine hit of something you like. Yes, I hit the jackpot. And then, I don't like that, yes. Especially these apps like TikTok, bro, where they just flash this stuff before you. They're trying to do the same thing on YouTube and Instagram with the shorts. It's a sickness, bro. But when you're on retention, you'll see through this goop gop. You'll see through the tricks. And in fact, you'll just get what you like out of it, and then you'll be done. And if you're not seeing enough of what you like, you'll care enough to just hop off the app. Semen retention will increase your care, but it'll increase your attention span. It's like, I used to just, I'd be watching a YouTube video, and while I'm watching the video, I'd be scrolling looking for another one. Now I'm all eyes and ears into this video, I wouldn't be able to read a book. Semen retention allowed me to read a book again, and now I can't stop. Every day I make it a priority to read for about an hour. Just at least a couple chapters. Just let me read and get into a book, because it's when you start expanding your mind in that way that you really start expanding your vocabulary. You expand more than just your mind. You broaden your horizons when you pick up a book. But it's more than that. You just engage in activities that you never would have before, that require more of your attention and give you less pleasure up front, but more down the line, more rewards down the line. These type of long-term rewards. Like doing work, for example. A lot of people don't have it in them to do some work, but being on retention, it gives you the attention span to put it into some work, to put it into something, and then get that payoff down the line. It's a powerful thing, but semen retention can open you up. And it's when you have the attention span, the length of attention span to focus on whatever you'd like. You have peace of mind. You have peace of mind knowing that you can engage in whatever kind of activity you'd like. You're not trapped in there on your phone. You're not they got us bouncing from our phone to our TV, then back to our phone, then going to sleep, then waking up and repeating. It's funny, I would even argue, it depends on the video game, of course. But there are certain video games that I wouldn't even be able to play because they just require too much attention from me. And so I just wouldn't care enough to play them. Like, I would just be so drained that from putting my attention to all these different places, that I couldn't even just play a nice, intensive video game. Or even just like a calm one. Nowadays, if I want to sit down and jam on a video game for a little bit, about an hour, I'll do that, and then I'll hop off. That's the cool thing, is that you're not trapped anywhere. You do what you want, you do what you like, and it doesn't matter whether it requires a lot of attention or a little attention, you can do it. And that kind of freedom, that's peace. That kind of freedom, that's security. That's surety that you can do whatever you like with your life. You're not trapped by the system, where the matrix is trying to keep you handcuffed. It's an important thing to have our freedom, because freedom is peace to those who know how to use it. Freedom can also be its own kind of anxiety. But if you know how to utilize your freedom, if you're not bound by, indecision, that's when you can move forward in comfort and peace. So, hope you guys got something from this video. 3 ways that semen retention can connect you to your inner peace. Help you discover your inner peace. Being grounded, having the ability to adapt, and having the ability, to put your mind wherever you'd like with the length of attention span. Semen retention will disconnect you from the bullshit that the society is rife with. Society is ripe with bullshit. Overflowing with it. But it's when you can distance yourself from that and connect back to source, connect back to what man was originally meant to be, originally meant to do, that's when life opens up to you. Alright, take care, y'all. Peace.